with Rico and Kayla is about to go live online. Catch All Out monster hit music, All Out celebrity interviews, All Out showbiz and sports news, All Out fun, an exclusive on the Monster. Catch the stream on the Monster Facebook page at RX931, the Monster YouTube channel at RX931, and twitch.tv/Monster RX931. Your All Out hosts, Rico Robles and Kayla Rivera. Stand by and enjoy the program.
Monster RX93.1, you know what it is. It's all about All Out Monster exclusive interviews. Rico Robles here.
Yes, and Kayla Rivera. Hey, Rico.
And you know who's joining us? It's none other than Justin Jesso. Hey!
Hey! What's up, guys?
Great. And, great to have you back on the show. And, first and foremost, how you been? Where are you joining us from?
I've been good. I just got back from a 4-month tour in Europe, and I've been home for, like 2.5 weeks back in the States now. And I'm coming to you from my living room in Los Angeles.
Hey, Los Angeles, California.
Oh, and I mean, and how was your time in Europe? And like, where did you go in Europe?
Oh my gosh, we went everywhere. So the first, I started in end of May. I went over there, and in June I did a headline tour myself. So that was London and Paris, and I was like 8 dates in Germany and Amsterdam and Switzerland and all over the place. And then July, August, September was a combination of my own shows and being on tour with Kygo and doing a bunch of promo everywhere. And a little bit of vacation.
I mean, you were there at a time when it was pretty historical, man. The passing of the Queen. How was that experience?
Oh my gosh!
Capture any of that? Did you write some songs about it?
No. No, I didn't. I feel bad to not be like I didn't write a song about the Queen. I was there around the time. And it was definitely very interesting to be in London around the time of the passing of the Queen. Unfortunately, for me, the thing that was most problematic about it was there was a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I can imagine. Right?
Yeah, there was a lot of traffic. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a unique time to be in the country and kind of feel that collective mourning from people.
And from what I hear, it's a lot of queues, right? It's like everybody loves to get in line, right?
There's a lot of queues, yeah. Everybody was lining up to pay their respects. I didn't see any of that though. I was off, doing little musical performances here and there, and so I was generally not in all of the Queendom, but it was definitely in the air when I was there.
And so, I mean, I'm just going to touch on something else that you mentioned, what you were up to. So you went on tour with Kygo. How was that?
It's so much fun. I mean, I've been doing that on and off for about 5 years now. So it's like it's my family. And, Kira, Kygo, and I have a great relationship. And we just played Madison Square Garden like a week and a half ago. I was in New York, and that was crazy. I came to sound check, and I was a little numb to the whole experience, and I wasn't the happiest when I was there, but I got to sound check and listening to the orchestra that we had play in sound check. I got instantly emotional. And that was a really special place because that was where I saw some of my first concerts at Madison Square Garden in the middle of New York City. So that was a really special experience.
And to have that opportunity to go to Madison Square Garden, to have a show there. I mean, can you walk us through what was the first thing you did? Were you looking at the walls, the pictures, the performances when you stepped in? How was that feeling?
What was the first thing I did? I mean, the first thing I remember was I was actually surprised because the entrance that we went in, and of course, we go in some back entrance. The entrance that we went in was really close to the stage. So like I kind of walked in through like what looks like a warehouse. And then very quickly I was at the place where you just walk out onto the, on the stadium floor. So I was like, this massive, massive building, that took you. Actually, that's not even true. I drove. Oh, wow, that was interesting. I drove in through the bottom, and then they took us on this elevator, and the elevator went up, and then we were right there. So it was this massive building that you get completely lost in. And we were in this giant freight elevator, and then suddenly we were just like right by the stage. And so I remember the first thing was like walking out into that stadium and looking around and being like, whoa, this is really big. So that was kind of the first holy shit moment. And then just being on the stage and being able to sing in New York in front of, I think it's, 17, 18,000 people, but in New York, in the middle of the city where I lived for 6 years. It was just really cool.
I mean, as an artist, what kind of fulfillment? I mean, when you were there and you're performing, what's that like? What are the checklists, the bucket list, like perform in my hometown where I live in, or for 6 years that I live in, take over this. And also, what's the first song that you performed?
The first song I performed was Stargazing. So yeah, that was the first time I got on stage. Although not for the soundcheck. For the soundcheck, the first song I sang was Firestone. But yeah, no. Look, Madison Square Garden, definitely a bucket list moment. It was definitely an experience. And one of the issues I have is I've dealt with depression and anxiety a lot, and I felt, to be completely honest, even though it was such a bucket list moment, I actually at times felt really numb to the experience, which I wasn't expecting. You think about this amazing thing, and that's kind of what the EP is about, is this battle with that anxiety and depression, and this kind of numb feeling that you have even when things are going really, really well. And obviously it was a bucket list moment. I don't take it for granted. I'm so grateful and excited that I got to do it. But, in the moment, I don't think it actually did feel the way that I thought it was going to feel. I was surprised that, there were times at which I was overwhelmed with emotion, like the sound check. And there were times where I wasn't, like, the morning after. And some of that is just, I think the adrenaline of the moment really takes you through. And then when that adrenaline crashes, you go, oh my God, what did I just do? I know that's a bit more real than the stock answer of like, it was amazing. Which it was.
It happens. It happens as an artist.
It happens. But I want to be honest, and that's what's so kind of weirdly unique and maybe hard to understand about like my situation as an artist is like it's an emotional roller coaster where you have these tremendous highs, and because of that, you also kind of have to expect that there's going to be these tremendous lows when those things are kind of on their downswing. So that's what was really important to me about writing the EP that I just released. Was it's a 9-song EP with 2 parts. The first part is me singing about trying to find the opposite of loneliness and not finding it. These songs are about me dealing with my depression and anxiety. Lucia is about dealing with the loss of somebody and the loss of myself. Clarity is about not having clarity on a relationship or where I'm headed. If You're Meant to Come Back is about trusting the universe that if you have to let go of something, but if they're meant to come back to you, then they will. And that's kind of a sad sentiment, and something that, takes a lot to deal with. And, Lifeline is just about being absolutely depressed and feeling like you need a lifeline. But then the second part of the EP are songs where I feel like I'm either on the path to finding the opposite of loneliness, or I found it, and I'm in that place of contentment or happiness, like Bigger Than, which is about being bigger than your fears. And it kind of outlines what's important in life and how to be a good person and how to go on that journey of finding your opposite of loneliness. And then Miracle, which is about actually finding that person or that relationship that makes you happy. Which, we just shot a music video to it, and it's all about my relationship with Elvis, because he's gotten me through so much anxiety and depression. Sorry to be so heavy.
No, I mean, that thank you for sharing that, because it's not easy. As a person who went through, a lot of people went through breakups, especially this pandemic, and a lot of people had gone through it. And we definitely feel you, man. I mean, but when you wrote these songs of an emotional roller coaster, was it hard performing it? I mean, it's, you could write it, you could verbalize it, but to perform it for the first time, or to record it and then actually hear that body of work, how was that emotion? What did you feel those times?
I think writing it's harder. I think the emotion is really, really present in the writing of the thing. And in ways it's cathartic, right? Like I'll sit there and I'll write my feelings and I'll cry, But the other thing that's probably the most exciting part about what I do outside of actually performing it is getting feedback from people, right? Getting messages online from people who have resonated with the music, or getting people who come up to me during a show and tell me how the music has affected them. I started a couple of months ago. Ooh, okay, bye. Go then. Bye.
He's like, I gotta go get coffee.
He's like, I'm out. I started a couple of months ago collecting. I have a folder on my phone that's called Inspired Through Music. And I save all the notes that people send me about how my music has inspired them, or how it got them through a difficult time. I can just click on like any one of these, and it's,
so it's like a cookie.
I know. I'm trying to find a good one. So I have a favorite too, but they're heavy. Do you want to hear them?
Go for it.
Okay, this is one of my favorites. So this is from a mother who has a 10-year-old son who has autism, and she writes, what I didn't say before, because it's almost unbearable to write, is that Pete, her son, hadn't been able to tell me he loved me in all his 10 years, even though he's a very verbal kid. Just understanding and verbally expressing his own emotions is really hard for him. I had accepted the fact that saying, I love you to me was something he just wasn't able to do. And I had come to peace with it because I could feel his love, and he shows it in other ways. Until a few months ago when 400 Trillion came out, after we figured out 400 Trillion helped him with his anxiety, it became his go-to song. He loves numbers, so I think he was drawn in by the title and cover, and then just really connected with the music and lyrics from there. A few months ago, we were listening, and he asked me what I thought the song was about. I told him that someone figured out that there's a 1 in 400 trillion chance that we are born the unique individual that we are, and because that chance is so tiny, it is really special that we are exactly who we are, and we should celebrate that, dancing on the rooftops. This was a message I've tried to talk to him about since his diagnosis of autism at age 2. He doesn't yet know that he is autistic. I want him to understand himself first and really understand that everyone is a unique individual and that that's a good thing before I explain to him that there's a name for why his brain is wired a bit differently and why he may feel like he has more challenges than the other kids. He has thus far not internalized this difference, but this is really crucial for a neurodivergent kid to understand. Well, after I explained my interpretation of 400 trillion, he looked up at me and just said, I love you, Mommy. I was absolutely floored. Tears are streaming down my face as I write this now, because now he tells me all the time that he loves me, and I will never take it for granted because I waited a whole decade to hear that. Justin, I really can't thank you enough for that. And thank you for providing a way for me to start to explain to my son his neurodiversity within the context of a song with which he deeply connects.
It's amazing.
Aww.
I get stuff like that all the time, and that's why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most amazing payoff, is hearing people's stories like that.
My goodness, imagine that. It's such there's a lot of psyche involved, and you're really in touch with the emotions, and it's a process of Erikson and Fruit theories and Maslow's of hierarchy of needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You hit it spot on, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. This one, I saved graphics too. This person sent me, you are sober 59 days. That's, I get graphs and things, and some of these stories are so crazy. I don't know if they're like right for your audience, but like some of them are really deep.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I love. I love going through these and knowing that the music is making a difference.
And I mean, you know, just in terms of like your songwriting process and like what inspires you, where do you, it sounds like you would draw inspiration from from everything. Like what exactly would
Yeah.
get the ball rolling for you?
So I write a lot about relationships. I write a lot about relationships, and I write a lot about my feelings. So that to me is where I get most inspired. And for me, it's all about honesty. And whether that's my truth or the truth of a co-writer that I'm collaborating with, or even if I'm writing for another artist, if it's their truth, to me, the way to write the best song is to tell it from a place of truth and a place of real emotion. And trying to figure out what that is and channeling that and figuring out how to make that into the best story it can be is always really fun for me. So that's why I love writing songs.
And you know, when you mentioned the truth of, you know, of your truth and writing it, I mean, can you take us through the journey of the first step when you decided I'm gonna put out there? I don't know what's gonna happen. And what was that life event that made you push to that type of writing, or just writing in general?
Well, I started the first song I ever wrote. I was 8 years old and I had a crush on this girl named Leah at camp. And there was this major that I could take, you know, like an afternoon class called rock band. So I went to rock band and I told this camp counselor about my crush on this girl named Leah. And he goes, let's write a song about it. I go, okay. So you want to hear the song?
Go.
No, oh, you say no?
Go.
Okay. The song goes, Leah, would you meet me by the pier? You bring the lettuce and I'll bring the beer. There may be a deer, but don't you fear, 'cause I'll hold you near. We'll drink some lettuce, eat some beer, look at your rear. Oh, what a lovely rear. That was the song. I was 8 years old.
8 years old, talk about beer. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, so that's where I started writing songs. And then I started, you know, writing more as I got older and met some producers in the Chicago area that taught me more about the art of songwriting. And so I started off as a songwriter writing for other people. I eventually wrote for people like Ricky Martin and Maluma and the Backstreet Boys and DJs like Armin van Buuren and Kygo. And it was always my intention to pull a Julia Michaels or a John Legend or a Bruno Mars. They wrote for other people first before releasing their own music. So for me, I was performing in clubs around New York. I was writing and releasing my own music, but you know, it's really hard to break through in this industry. There's a lot of music and there's a lot of people that are pouring their emotions and their heart and soul out into music. So it wasn't really going anywhere for me. And that's when I said, okay, I'm going to focus on writing the best songs that I possibly can for other people. And I'm not going to let my dream of being an artist die, but I'm going to put it on the back burner for a little bit and really work hard and study the craft of songwriting and do my best to be of service to other artists. And the second that switch happened in my brain, A, I became a little bit happier, but B, a couple months later, I walked into a room and wrote Stargazing with some friends of mine. And then Kygo picked it up, and then it was a confirmed single, and then it came out, and it had my voice on it, and it started doing well. And then suddenly I started having a platform where people were interested in what else I had to say. And that's how my artist career got started. And it was just this, you know, this kind of belief in myself, but also this doubling down on writing songs. Because that's really where it came from, was I felt like it probably was at a tipping point where I finally wrote something that was so honest and so truthful and so unique to me that it spoke loud enough that the world responded and then said, okay, what else you got?
So it was more of like, before you used to hold back songs, like, okay, I'm going to save this for me. I'm going to save the big hits for me. But now when you started to be like, all right, I'm just going to write the best song ever, every single day. I'm going to share it with whoever. Then let's see what happens from there.
Yeah. it wasn't even that I was going to save the big hits for me. It was that I probably just, I believe in the 10,000 hour theory. I probably just wasn't writing those hits back then. You know, I was probably writing okay songs. Once I got over the hump of thinking about only myself and the songs that I wanted to tell, the songs that I wanted to give to the world, and started thinking about, okay, how do I just write the best songs that are the most truthful possible? That's when people started coming around and were interested. And I let go of songs that I absolutely loved. There was one song in particular that I remember, it was like selling my child, and it was so difficult for me. It was called I Don't Want You Back. I sold it to Epic Records, which I'm now signed to in the States. And I sold it for AJ Mitchell, who's an artist on Epic Records. And I remember when I gave that song up, I was like heartbroken because I thought that was my song. But I have no regrets. And that allowed me.
I mean, in terms of like songwriting, like I know you said, you've gotten better through the years, but like what advice would you give to songwriters who are just getting started off and feel like, they have a long way to go? What advice would you give to them?
I always give two pieces of advice. One is get an internship in the music industry. Make some connections so that you have a place to go. And you understand the backside of the business and how art gets made and out there, and who can help you get that art out there, whether it's for you as a songwriter to play songs or for you as an artist. And be the most kick-ass intern that you possibly can. Make yourself invaluable to those people so that they want to turn around and help you, because you were so instrumental to them in your position. The second one is work with the people around you. Some of the best music that I've made and that got me the farthest was when I just did stuff with friends and peers. So much of the industry is about jockeying for that big thing, right? And writing with that big writer or that big artist, and that always is fine. And every once in a while you get those sessions and it's really great. But for me, working with the people I knew and working with people around me that were my peers helped me develop, right? So I was lucky enough, I went to a music school in New York, and working with the people that were in my class was instrumental for me because I learned and I grew and I got creative with them. And that combination of those two things helped me jumpstart my career.
So it's like a great, you and Kayla went to the same music school, actually.
Yeah. I did that.
You went to Clive?
Yeah, I did a summer intensive there.
Oh my gosh, when?
This was 2017.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was amazing. And I mean, I agree with what you have to say also with like working with your classmates, and I mean, yeah, because these are like-minded individuals that are just as passionate as you are, with what you're doing, and they're amazing too. So, just imagine combining all of your guys' like brain juices and just yeah.
And it's inspiring to be around those people, people who are as passionate about what you do as you are.
As far as staying focused with the music and everything what are the challenges there?
Well, I mean, I go through my own challenges of depression and anxiety. I mean, that to me is, this idea that we're just like, it's this roller coaster of all these incredible highs, like playing Madison Square Garden and playing a festival and having all that adrenaline running through you. And then, unfortunately, like given the state of the internet today, like comparing yourself to other people and watching, the numbers not hit what you want. So for me, figuring out a way to regulate my own happiness has been really important. And that's why I wrote this music and why I put this EP out the way that I did, is because there's something in here for everybody, right? There's for whatever stage of depression and anxiety or happiness that you're going through in your life, there's something on this EP that you can relate to, or that I hope you can relate to. And for me, one of the biggest tools that I've had throughout my life is there's two ways that I kind of get through my depression. One is acknowledging that I'm depressed, saying, okay, I feel bad. And I know I feel bad. I'm depressed. And then the second part of it is going, it's okay that I feel this way, and not being angry at myself for feeling this way. Because that's what I used to do. I used to go, I'm depressed and I shouldn't be depressed because I have all these amazing things happening and everything's really good. And I have this and I have that, and I have this and I have that, but I'm still depressed and I'm angry because I shouldn't be. And that was never helpful to me. So it's this idea of acknowledging that I have these issues and then giving myself permission to feel the way I feel,
So
which usually
acceptance over resistance, as they say, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, is acceptance over resistance. And I still have to learn that. You know, I know it, but that doesn't always happen.
And I mean, you know, so you recognize it and you accept it. Where do you go from there? Do you I mean, I guess you said one thing you do is you write songs, but
yeah,
what else would you do, you know, in those circumstances?
Basically just write songs. Yeah, basically I just go, okay, well, you know, I mean, I keep a list, you know, similar to my list of messages. You know, I have a list of like little song ideas, and when I'm feeling a certain way or I'm watching TV and I see or an inspired by something, I just kind of jot it down in my notes, which you can't see. There you go. So that when I go into the studio and I'm working either by myself or with other people, I can look and go, oh, what did I write? You are the perfect distraction, right? That's the first thing that I wrote, right? Yesterday I went in and I started writing that song with some friends. And, you know, it was based off of this idea that I was super depressed and I was, all of these things were happening, but I was still feeling down about myself. And the only thing that was getting me through was my current relationship. And so that lyric was born off of some TV show I was watching where I think it was Grey's Anatomy or something. And they were like, surgery's the greatest distraction to my problems. And I was like, oh, I like that. And then I wrote it down in my notes. And then the next day I went to the studio and popped out my version of it.
Music is your greatest distraction.
Right. So, and then I, you know, this is the song. Anyway, yeah. Someone just having the updated bounds. So that you might hear that at some point, you know, but that's what I do. And I do that every day, all day. And so I have a million like that. That just happened to be the last one I just got.
It's amazing, you know, how you could share. I mean, thank you for sharing this moment, because, you know, not a lot of people, I mean, you could go through it, but then you would hit a stumbling block. And with that information you just shared, it keeps people on track. You know what I mean? It's always that you stay on the road, because sometimes you're halfway there, then you're like, and it hits you right back. And you know, thank you for sharing that. It means a lot, man. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
You know, and for you, what was that advice that kept you going? That if you could remember, especially as an artist, I mean, the doors weren't opening 100% all the time.
No,
you know,
they're still not opening 100%.
I mean, when you hit that door that's closed, what was it? Whose advice was it from? And who gave you the advice that stuck to you that you just keep on going on?
Oh, I mean, I've been lucky enough to get a lot of really great advice in my life. My parents have been a great source of advice, but they've also been a source of frustration. As everybody's parents are. Mom and Dad, if you listen to this, hey. You know, one of the greatest pieces of advice that I always go back to is, and this helps me through my depression, but it also helps me with my career, which is my father always used to say, I cried and cried because I had no shoes till I saw a man who had no feet. I've always thought that was a really interesting place to work from. The idea that it can always get worse, and it can always get better. And I think understanding that allows you to operate from where you are, and being realistic with yourself while you have all these dreams is really important too, right? And saying, okay, how do I, because I think I certainly have this issue where, like, I can have this thing that's up here, this dream that's up here, like pulling double duty on SNL is one of the greatest dreams I have in my life. I would love to be the host and musical guest of Saturday Night Live. It's my greatest dream, right? But that's a huge freaking goal. And there's no linear path to get there. So I have to know, okay, I'm thinking all the way up here, but I'm over here, right? There's down here. I could be down here. At one point I was down here, right? Now I'm like maybe over here, over here, over here. And the only way I'm going to get up over here is if I follow all these little steps that maybe I can't see, or that maybe take me over here, or that are maybe inconsequential feeling, and it'll go up and it'll go down and it'll wind itself around. But like, I am where I am, and I have to operate from there in order to get all the way up there. And I may not ever get there. There may not be a path to it. But that's okay. And I just have to operate from where I am.
It's just having that roadmap, right? There's a destination. There's a certain destination. You hit it or not. The point is the journey continues. You know, for those that are tuning in, you have Justin Jesso is joining us from Los Angeles, talking music, talking life. This is a TED Talk, man.
Yeah.
This is a TED Talk.
Yeah.
This is a TED Talk of life. I mean, when you reach your objectives, the milestones, whether it's the major ones or the small ones, for you, Justin, how do you celebrate?
I don't do it enough. That's the truth. I really don't. I don't celebrate enough. I think I do it. I'm not really a partier, to be completely honest. Like, I don't go out. I'm not really a club guy. Some of that's probably because a lot of my work is in clubs. So if I'm there, I kind of feel like I'm working. Every once in a while, I let myself go. My favorite thing to do is celebrate with people I love. So that's really what I love the most, is just spending time with the people that I love and my dog. And that's how do you celebrate?
Oh, for us, same thing. We party, we work at a party scene. So for me, I like to box. I like to go for a run. Yeah, I like to go for a run with no headphones. Just go for a run and just listen to the environment. And you know how it is, just go for long jogs. How about Kayla? What do you like to do, Kayla?
I'm similar with Justin, where I love to be with my loved ones, and I also have a dog. So I could just be cuddling my dog, and I already feel like that's a celebration on its own.
Isn't that so crazy? I feel like we all feel this need to like celebrate means go out and party and go nuts. And I think the truth is so many of us like just want to celebrate at home.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, as far as celebrating and living life, you know what I mean? For you, this, on the show, we do have some all-out random questions.
Now, I love it. Lay them on me.
Justin, for you, if you weren't a songwriter, what do you think you'd be doing?
Real estate. Truly, I'm weirdly obsessed with residential real estate. And my therapy is Redfin, which is like a Zillow. It's like instead of dating profiles and things, I'm like swiping left and right on houses,
like and making costs and all that.
Yeah. So like this is my. I bet you that I open this Redfin app and look at real estate in Los Angeles. I wonder if I can see my usage. How do I type in my use? How do I do that? I bet you it'll say that I spend the majority of my day on Redfin. Which is so sad.
My mom does the same thing. My mom does Redfin, and she has a house in Los Angeles, and she likes to see the value of it. I was like, look, son, it's up by $100,000 now. Look,
I love it.
She's so happy about it. You know what I mean?
Does she want to sell her house to me? Because I'm looking.
Well, I'll ask her.
And also, Justin, just throwing in another random question. What's a hidden talent of yours that we would be surprised to find out about?
I used to say that I could do the wave with my eyebrows, which I can do, and it is kind of a weird hidden talent.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of a lame talent. I'm actually a good golfer. So that's a weird hidden talent that I have, is that I can play golf, and I can beat a lot of people at golf. My brother's much better than me though. What's a weird hidden talent that I have? I don't know.
I would go with the eyebrows. That's hard, man.
The eyebrows.
I
Okay,
can't
good.
even
We're going with the eyebrows.
Yeah,
I can't even do that. You know what I mean? And
What's your weird hidden talent, Rico?
I can rap.
Really?
And, yeah, just a little bit, not too much. And Kayla,
Can you give us a little bit?
Oh, wow.
Your text line.
Yeah, well, let's see. What's a good little bit? Hanging out with my man Justin Jesso, Los Angeles, we flow, here we go. Hanging out with Kayla in Manila, we be. We making songs for this city, doing things that we love, writing for legacy. And yeah, a little bit too early.
Hey! All right, Kayla, what you got? What's your hidden talent?
She a great singer.
Oh,
She a great singer. I'm telling you, man. She a
Oh,
great singer.
God. Oh,
Is that a hidden talent or is that just your talent?
no, that I don't think it's a hidden talent. I definitely have been
People
teaching
know.
when I was a young girl. So I think for a hidden talent, I really love baking. I love baking cookies and like cakes. So that's
Yeah?
yeah, I would say that that's probably
So sing while you're baking. Go.
Ooh. Let's throw in the flour. Oh gosh, yes.
I love it.
So yeah, I'd say baking. Yeah.
So when I come to Manila, I'm collabing with Rico. We're putting out like a rap feature, and then I'm coming over to your house and you're baking something while you sing.
Yes. That's
Done.
I mean, Manila plans. Are you planning to have a show here anytime soon?
There's no plans at the moment, but I would love to. So hopefully next year at some point I am out there. That is the plan. So hopefully I'll see you guys in person very soon, but there are no actual plans as of this second.
It'd be great. You know what I mean? Especially with everything that's going on around the world. And, you need a breather from Los Angeles. I just came from there, man. So I know how it feels like to be there. Oh, yeah. It's pretty crazy in some parts of it. I mean, when you turn on the news, when you do all that, I mean, I could just imagine.
Yeah.
But more random questions. I mean, when it comes to shows on Netflix, you have time? What's your favorite show to watch?
Oh my God. That's the other thing that I'm obsessed with is television, film and TV. I actually started writing scripts and screenplays during the pandemic because I wanted to tell more long form stories based in music. So I started doing that. I haven't pursued that path yet, but I'm doing it creatively. So I watch, it's my biggest escape is television. So I watch everything. Right now I'm obsessed with, they have me again. Game of Thrones, House of Dragon. I think it is so good. We watched Lord of the Rings as well. Not as good as House of Dragon, not even close. We're watching the show called Reboot. I say we because I watched them with my significant other. We're not allowed to watch shows apart. I just introduced her today to Law and Order because she'd never seen it before. So we watched. They have a 3-part series intro where it's Law and Order crosses over with Law and Order SVU and Law and Order Criminal Intent, and we watched all 3 hours.
Wow!
Over the past couple of days, and she's like, "Oh my God, this is so crazy! They're from different shows." Yeah. So. Big TV person.
It's like you mentioned House of Dragons, right? I mean, do you like it that it's you have to wait a week for the next episode, or do you like your shows all in one go?
I'll tell you why I like it. Because as much as I want to watch it all in one go, I think that there's a point of differentiation with them where they make me want it. Like they make me look forward to it. And I really like that about it, as opposed to because I just would have watched all 10 episodes over the course of 2 days, like a couple of weeks ago, and then I wouldn't be talking about it. I'd be talking about something else.
True.
So I think that it builds the hype when the show is that good. I'm like, okay, you can make me wait. It's fine.
Could that be something that you could apply to releasing songs, right? I mean, instead of dropping the whole album, single at a time, single at a time, single at a time.
Well, that's what we do. I think it's very rare now that someone puts out an entire body of work at once. I mean, it is definitely a rollout plan over months. I mean, I some of the singles on my EP, they were released months and months before. So, that is the plan. That is how we do it. Cause I think that, because I don't think people do have the appetite these days for the whole thing. They just want the bite-sized piece.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
Yeah.
With a shorter attention span, and actually just like also touching on like the shorter attention span, like do you feel any pressure like writing stuff for like TikTok where they're shorter bits, like the shorter length of time, like the songs?
I do feel pressure. I'm not doing it. I'm just saying, you know what? Like, I'm not going to focus on whether it hits on TikTok or not. I'm going to I might focus on TikTok as a platform. Excuse me. But when I write my music, I just want to write the best songs. And maybe that's silly. Maybe that's me not taking advantage, but I don't want to think about like, how do I make something that really, really hits on TikTok? The one thing that I do think about though is why are people responding to TikTok? Why is this song doing well on TikTok? What is the construction of the thing that makes people respond to it? And so a lot of times I see that's like, there are beats in the production, right? Or chops in the production where there's a break or a hold or a extra boom that people are responding to. That I do try to bring in because I just think that's making good music. But I don't try to like bite size it for TikTok in a way that is specific to the platform.
I mean, I could imagine quality control. That's the main thing. And not a lot of artists have that, Justin. Quality control. You know what I'm saying? Which is really cool.
Thanks.
You know, and I think Drake did that for a bit, wherein he was just only catering to like the hooks, you know what I mean? Or the little verses and to just keep it going. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. Now for you, how do you stay focused in everything that you do with all the attention spans to the world and all the social media distractions? How does one stay focused?
I don't know. If you could help me with that, I'd be forever grateful to you. I think it's really hard to stay focused. I think there's so much distraction. There are so many easy ways for me to waste 3 hours of my life, whether it's watching a 3-part season beginning or scrolling on my phone. I don't know. I mean, I think that when I get into a flow with music, it helps me stay focused. Collaborating with other people helps me stay focused. So I find that if I'm having trouble being creative myself, if I'm in a session with others, that will help me stay on track and give me new ideas. So that's probably the biggest tool for me to stay focused is collaboration.
And you did talk about collaboration. Who's the most famous person you've collaborated with and got starstruck to a point that you had to really slap yourself a couple of times? Like, I'm actually here in the studio with this person.
Oh man, who is the person that I've gotten the most starstruck by? I don't think I've been starstruck by anybody that I'm like in the room working with. The biggest time I was ever starstruck was with Stevie Wonder. So I was at NYU, Kayla, and I took a class on Stevie Wonder. And it was the first day. It was taught by a guy named Harry Wanger, who runs like the vault at Universal Motown. And it was the end of day 1 in class. And he was like, guys, just sit tight for 1 second. I have a surprise outside. Let me go see if it's here. And I thought like they were going to bring in like CDs or something, or like, something like, an album or a vinyl that was from Stevie. And then I turned to the guy next to me. He's like, how crazy it would be if Stevie Wonder walked in, thinking there's no way that it would ever happen. And of course, Stevie Wonder walks in and you hear the class was like talking amongst themselves. And then you hear and everybody just falls silent. And Stevie walks in the room and he goes to the front of the class and he's like, so I hear you're learning about me. And then he talks for like an hour and a half, fielding questions, talking about his life, singing a little bit. I mean, it was nuts. And I was absolutely starstruck by him. As you should be at Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably the most starstruck I've ever been.
What was the question you asked him? Did you ever ask him a question? Did you get a chance to?
What did I ask him? I did, but I forgot what I asked him. I think I was so starstruck, I don't remember any. But I have it recorded. I have like a 40-minute recording on my phone of it. So I'll have to go back and listen.
I mean, if there's anything you can recall from what he shared with you guys, like what's the biggest takeaway? Was there like a lesson, that he imparted to you guys, or like advice?
Not really.
No.
I think the biggest thing that we walked away with was just being able to hear his voice in a classroom when he would speak or he would just sing, like, because he would sing, he'd be like, oh, and then because he's talking about his life, and then he's like, I wrote this song, and it was like, isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? And it was like, he just kind of went, and he was like, yeah, I was writing that, I was on the street, and it was like,
to hear it actually live, yeah?
To hear it actually live, like totally unamplified with nothing, like in front of you. That was just like, and the fact, like, too, it's like, it took him a second to like get it. It wasn't like he had warmed up or anything. He was like, isn't she lovely? And it was just like, and he did the thing that he does, that only he does, that sounds only the way that he sounds. And it was just, that was kind of the nuttiest part about the whole thing, was just like, you're in a room with the guy and he's singing to you. And it's that.
I mean, that's how it is, the genius of it. And you're in that room. And for us, I mean, for the people that are new songwriters and also the current songwriters, you are their Stevie Wonder, man. You know what I mean? And you have any advice? You have any advice for those upcoming songwriters, those who cannot express themselves fully or honestly, and they're just getting started?
I mean, as cliche as it sounds, it's like so much like, if you continue to work hard and you're halfway decent at what you do, even if you're not that talented, and you continue to work hard and you continue to be of service in the industry, you may not accomplish your dreams. You may not get to the place in the music industry that you feel like you're supposed to get to. But at the end of the day, like, if you're of service and you are good and you are practicing and you are putting in your hours, if you keep going, eventually you will find a place. That might be on the business side. That may be as an A&R. That may be as someone who works, in publishing, or on or in radio, or in sync, or as a songwriter, or as a songwriter that's writing songs for other artists, or a songwriter that's writing songs for pitch, or for sync, or for movie trailers, or there are all these different facets of where you can go and what you can do and who you can be in this industry. And I'm an artist because it was my dream and because I pushed towards that dream. But like, I didn't know when I started as a songwriter that I was going to end up here. Right. Like that was always my intention. But like, when I looked myself in the mirror and said, okay, I'm going to focus on being a songwriter and hopefully I'll get there, it was really a hope. It wasn't like, this is the plan. It just, if you're persistent and you keep going and you work with the people around you and you make the right moves and you're of service and you're selfless, hopefully you find your place.
Hey, it's a great lesson there, man. It's just like what Denzel said, right? You hang around the barbershop long enough, you're bound to get a haircut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get to catch your break.
That is a really great way of saying it. I wish I just said that.
Yeah. But I got a question. I know we want to keep you longer, but we can wrap this up in a bit. What's that behind you? Whose photo is that? Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is rental furniture.
Okay.
But I will tell you, this is something that's kind of cool that is behind me. That I took off. This is usually up on that wall. So my name is Justin Jesso. Jesso is not my real name; it's my stage name, and it's taken from my great grandfather, whose nickname was Jesso, who was a band leader in the 20s who used to play piano for Al Capone, who was a gangster.
Wow.
So this is from my grandmother, and this is his band in the 20s. And there he is, he's the pianist and the band leader, and he's you know, if I don't know if you can see it very well.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
That's my great grandfather and his band in the 20s playing somewhere at the Parkway Theater. Yeah.
So does that serve as a reminder for you? Like when you got started, it's like, hey, Gramps did it. I'm gonna do it too.
Did it. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's I don't know if it's as much a reminder as it is just like kind of a cool piece of my family history that I think is really, really awesome. My next tattoo is going to be, he also drew stuff. So I'll just take you to it. We're going to lose all the light. My next tattoo is, I have this drawing that he drew.
Taking us on a house tour. It's really, really awesome.
Taking a house tour.
It is really, really awesome.
This is his self-portrait that he drew.
Wow.
Of himself and his piano that I guess is broken for whatever reason. But this is going to be my next tattoo.
So cool.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You're a family of arts, man.
Right.
But just him. That's the thing, is it was just him. So that's why I connect deeply and resonate with him, is because he was really the only one who pursued this passion as a job. Oh, and now I've lost everything. Okay.
You're there. You're there. I mean, you know, Kayla, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to just throw in one last question. But for you,
Sure.
what's more important in a song? Good lyrics or good music?
They're all important. I mean, I'm a lyrics and melody guy, right? So that's what I do first, right? I'm focused on trying to write the best song that I can. And that starts with a great lyric and a killer melody. And then what goes under that, to me personally, and the music that I make is secondary. But that doesn't mean that in the grand scheme of music, that's technically true. You know, and especially when I do work in the electronic space, so much of it is about that music. And songs that break through can break through for so many different reasons. For me personally, it's a melody and lyrics that I resonate with. And I think that's what people respond to with my music, and the message that imparts. But like, having a great vibe is awesome too. So, and that can totally be the most important thing in a song that makes it translate and gives it its catch. So, I mean, that's the beauty of music, is there's so many different ways for people to be inspired by something.
It's really just, you know, a great vibe. It's the vibe. That's what it is. All right. But man, thank you very much for taking time. You know, before we let you go, Halloween's coming up. What you going to dress up? What's your costume, man?
I'm going to show you. Hold on.
I tell you, it's show and tell day, Kayla. It's show and tell day. I'm excited for this. I am excited for this. This is a Monster exclusive once again. Justin Jesso joining us. Oh,
let's go,
baby! You got a lightsaber.
I'm going as I don't know, one of these guys from Star Wars.
Darth Maul or Luke Skywalker.
I'm going as
Yoda.
Anakin. Because I'm going as Anakin because my girlfriend is going as Padme and she wanted me to be Anakin. And so that's what I'm doing. And I'm making her happy. And she's a big Star Wars nerd. And there's this really funny video that she posted. Her name is Sange Chen. And she posted this video about how I took her to Lake Como. And there's a place in Lake Como where they shot the wedding scene between Padme and Anakin. And I didn't know what it was. So she's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. We're here. Let's go see the thing. Can we go see the thing where Padme and Anakin got married? And I was like, I don't know what that is, but sure. And then she posted it on TikTok. And it went absolutely viral with everybody telling her to dump me because I didn't know. So to make up for it, I'm going for Halloween as Anakin.
Hey, we're excited for that. You know what I mean? We're excited for that. And congratulations on the future endeavors. You know what I mean? LP, is there an LP coming out? I know the EP's out. It's been out. Is there an LP in the works?
Yes, 2023, there will be a full-length LP. I'm working on music for it now. I'm very excited about it. And so expect that music to be coming out very soon.
And message for all your fans here in the Philippines, man.
I can't wait to come back. I really want to come back. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been listening and who resonates with the music. And and thank you to you guys for taking the time and spreading the message and spreading the music and playing the music. And I hope you guys have an awesome Halloween. What are you guys going to be for Halloween?
Well, I'm thinking of being the controversial Jeffrey Dahmer, but I'm still debating. So
I want to walk around. I had this conversation the other day with someone about Jeffrey Dahmer and how all these people are being Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween. I don't think it's a problem. I think you should go do whatever you want. And that's the world. And they're like, we're glorifying these awful people. Like, no, but it's Halloween. You have fun. You go dress as you want to dress. And I think you should go be Jeffrey Dahmer.
I just don't know how to grow the hair. So I don't know how that's going to go. So I think I'm just going to go with Pitbull, Mr. 305, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the best way to go.
I champion that too. I think you as Mr. Worldwide fits as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that fits.
Kayla, what are you going to be?
My boyfriend and I are going to be Jim and Pam from The Office.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, the couples costumes are a thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
And you know what else is coming in the mail is my little doggy Darth Vader costume.
Hey!
Yeah. So yeah,
Cute.
we're gonna have fun.
It's gonna be a cute thing, man. You take care, man. I can't wait for you to get back here in Manila. And when we see you here, we're gonna party out. Yeah. We're gonna give you, a one of a kind experience when you're here. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
With cooking.
I love it. With cooking. With cooking and rapping and all the things.
All right. Hey, you take care. And thank you for keeping it going. Thank you for the inspiration, man. Thank you for the talk. It means a lot. And, for everybody that's listening, they're taking all of this. They're making mental notes and phone memo notes. It's the way you're doing with the people that listens to the music. You know what I mean? So thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope to see you guys soon.
All right, take care. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, here on All Out, give it up for Justin Jesso.
Woo!
Hey, take care. Until then, once again, my name is Rico Robles.
I'm Kayla Rivera.
And this has been another Monster exclusive interview. Y'all have a great day. Peace.
Monster exclusive interview. Monster exclusive interview. Only from Manila's hottest. Monster RX93.1.